Hello and welcome to today's episode of the podcast. I'm Stella and I'm so excited to have you here because we are talking about something timeless, universal, and incredibly powerful, storytelling. From ancient myths to modern movies, storytelling has always been a fundamental way we connect, tech, and entertain. But have you ever stopped to wonder what makes a great story, or how you can use storytelling in your own life? In this episode, we will explore the art of storytelling, why it matters, and how you can become a better storyteller yourself. So let's dive in. Right, first of all, for segment 1, why stories matter. First, let's talk about why storytelling is so important. Stories are everywhere. They're how we make sense of the world. Think about it. Whether it's a bedtime story, a tech talk, or even a funny anecdote at a party, stories grab our attention and help us understand complex ideas. There's a reason stories have been part of human history for thousands of years. Scientists have found that our brains are wired for stories. When we hear a good story, it activates multiple parts of our brain, not just the language center, but also areas associated with emotions, memory, and even physical sensation. This is why a well-told story can make us laugh, cry, and feel inspired. Stories also build connections. Have you ever felt like you really understood someone after they share a personal story with you? That's because stories create empathy. They allow us to step into someone else's shoes and experience the world from their perspective. In a way, storytelling is a bridge. It connects us to others in a profound and meaningful way. Alright, now let's move to the segment 2, the elements of a great story. So, what makes a story great? While there's no magic formula, there are a few key elements that all great stories share. First, there's a hook. A great story grabs your own attention right from the start. It might be a surprising fact, an intriguing question, or a vivid description. For example, instead of saying it was a tough day, you might say, by 10 a.m., I was drinking coffee, stuck in traffic, and questioning all of my choices. See how that paints a picture and makes you want to hear more. Well, next, you need a conflict. Conflict is the heart of any story. It's what keeps the audience engaged. It doesn't have to be a huge battle or a dramatic event. It could be as simple as a personal challenge, like learning a new skill or overcoming self-doubt. The key is to have some form of tension or problem that needs to be resolved. Then there is a character. Great story needs relative characters, whether it's you, someone you know, or even a fictional figure. The audience needs someone to root for, someone whose journey they can follow. Finally, there's a resolution. This is where the conflict is resolved and the audience gets a sense of closure. It's the lesson learned, the punchline of the moment realization. A story without resolution feels incomplete, like a sound that ends mid-note. Alright, now let's move to the segment 3, storytelling in everyday life. Now that we know what makes a great story, let's talk about how storytelling can be useful in everyday life. One obvious place is in public speaking. Whether you are given a presentation at work or delivering a speech at a wedding, adding a personal story can make your messages more engaging and memorable. For example, instead of listing boring statistics about teamwork, you could share a story about a time your team overcame a challenge together. Storytelling is also a powerful tool in teaching. A good teacher doesn't just deliver facts, they bring those facts to life with stories. Think back to your favorite teachers. Chances are they use stories to explain concepts or keep you interested. Even in casual conversation, storytelling can help you connect with others. For instance, instead of saying, I had a busy weekend, you could say, on Saturday, I tried a new recipe and it was such a disaster that even my dog wouldn't eat it. Suddenly, you have turned a mundane fact into something funny and relatable. And let's not forget social media. In a world full of captions and hashtags, the ability to tell a good story can make your post stand out. Whether you're sharing a travel experience or promoting a product, storytelling adds authenticity and emotion. Alright, now let's move to the segment 4, tips to improve your storytelling. By now, you might be wondering, how can I become a better storyteller? Here are some practical tips to get you started. First, know your audience. A story that works well in a job interview might not work at family dinner. Tailor your story to the people you are speaking to and the context of the situation. And second, practice structure. Use the classic storytelling structure, beginning, middle, and the end. Start by the setting the scene, introduce the conflict, and then wrap it up with a resolution. And the third, Use sensory details. The more specific and vivid your descriptions, the more your audience will feel like they are part of the story. Instead of saying it was a beautiful day, you could say the sun was shining, a cool breeze was blowing, and the sky was a perfect shade of blue. After that, 4. Embrace emotion. Don't be afraid to show vulnerability or share how you feel during the events of your story. People connect more with emotions than with facts. Finally, keep it simple. A story doesn't have to be long or complicated to be authentic. In fact, some of the best stories are short and to the point. But right now, to wrap things up, storytelling isn't just an art, it's a skill that anyone can learn and use in their life. Whether you want to inspire, entertain, or connect with others, a well-told story can make all the differences. So, what's the story? What moments in your life could you share to connect with others or make your message more impactful? I challenge you to think about it and start practicing. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode on the art of storytelling. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe and share with a friend who loves story as much as you do. See you next time, and until then, happy storytelling. Thank you so much.